glad to hear you talk about economic development. My question is about the Office of Economic Development. And of course, that's an office under the mayor's office that is charged with maximizing Seattle's potential to be a thriving hub for business and jobs and robust neighborhoods and economic opportunity for everyone. The problem, there has been a lot of good programs that came out. There's a lot of appropriate effort, great staff, but it's really never had any serious funding or authority. So what I wonder is, if elected, how would you strengthen the work of the OED, and so that it could stand on par with other agencies?
And we'll start with Jenny.
That is a great question, and I think you have nailed one of the key things that I think the past administration did wrong. And that is, we had different entities in place that supposedly were to incorporate the voice of business, the voice of communities, the voice of neighborhoods. But really what we had was a top-down approach, where City Hall would say they knew what was good for people and try to impose it. So the first thing I will do as mayor on that front is not just an OED, but in the other things, is to really incorporate the voice of the people who are impacted. They're not at the table when some of these decisions are being made. They have to be at the table. So whether it's OED, Department of Neighborhoods, I want to make sure that there is real engagement, not just lip service. The second thing you have to do is exactly what you said. They've got to be adequately funded, but they have to be at the table too as we're developing policies, so that when the city of Seattle is thinking of a policy to roll out, we have OED representing those voices to say, wait a minute, let's slow down. Here's this neighborhood in distress, or this small district, the business district that needs X. Or when we do the streetcar, 10 businesses are going to shut down. How are we going to help them? So we need to really be thinking about the unintended consequences of all the city actions that are going on in this very turbulent time of growth. And one of the key voices of that is Office of Economic Development. And if it incorporates those voices of small businesses, and really are thinking about what do businesses really need to succeed, then we'll have that voice in the room. So it's got to be both cultural and resources.
So this is the other key issue for me. I think we all look at the widening wealth inequality of our city, of our country, and we know in our hearts that is not us. That is not the world we want to live in. And so diving deep into why that's happening and what we at the city level can do about it is really essential for the next mayor. And I believe you nailed it on the head. The Office of Economic Development has done some good programs, but where is their big strategy? Where's their big vision to solve wealth inequality and build family wage jobs? And so I will make sure they have the resources and skilled leadership, because we need to do better we need to support small and local business. We all know that small and locally owned business is where wealth is created and where wealth stays in community instead of being extracted and sent off to shareholders on Wall Street. We need to invest in small and local business, and that means technical assistance and training. We have a lot of new labor protections, and those can be really difficult for small business to navigate. So we've got to help small business understand how to do business here, and we've got to listen to them about what they need. We need to especially support immigrant and refugees in that process, because so much of the wealth generated in immigrant and refugee communities is through entrepreneurship and locally owned business, so we've got to pay special attention to that. We need also a bigger picture strategy, and I would do this by working with the port about what is the next economy. And the next economy is going to be about biotech, it's going to be about clean energy, it's going to be about different industries than it was in the past. So how can we make sure we understand what's coming next, we're attracting those employers, and we're training up our workforce for those next jobs? Because this doesn't just happen by itself. You have to be proactive and forward-looking about making that happen. And then next, I think we're missing a huge opportunity of local procurement. University of Washington spends $5.7 billion every year on goods and services. Why don't we have a stronger system of getting local institutions to buy local and do local procurement, support small and local businesses in our city? And then finally, I think we need to really look at how the economy works now and recognize that a lot of people don't work for big employers. A lot of people are freelancers and more independent, and we've got to develop rights and protections for those folks, because so many of us work in that way now, and it's very different than the way the old model used to work. And we've got to make sure we're watching out for them and building in the protections and the systems that they need to thrive, whether it's the 401k that travels with you, portable benefits, and rights for contractors getting paid. There's a lot of things we could be doing at the city level to support folks in that part of the economy. So you're right, the economic development strategy, small and local business, making sure we're forward-looking, making sure we're investing in family wage jobs for the future is the way we're going to solve the wealth inequality gap and the way we're going to show the rest of the world what it really means to be a city that stands up for the well-being of everyone.